What I'm going to talk a little bit about today.
I'm going to start showing you how I teach using my iPad.
Today I'll share a new technique.
Highly mathematical, highly technical subjects.
Culture. Making these custom lab kits that students can pick up or we can ship to their house.
This Intro to Bioanth course.
Material that I use in different ways in two different classes.
A program called Perusal.
It's really a class about climate change.
How we might bring collaboration and critique.
An overview of artificial intelligence use in and out of the classroom.
This micro lesson is going to touch on several best practices for setting up a Miro board for visual critique and workshops.
We actually, for this semester, are piloting 2 labs that will be custom lab kits.
The way I teach culture is I keep in mind what the students might want to retain, and it's not grammar, it's memorable elements of experiences in class and encountering culture.
The latest development in this course has been a series of short interviews with sociology faculty.
Building community was a really important driver for us this semester.
We want to provide effective teaching for our students so they master this material efficiently.
I try very hard to make it something that is a discussion.
Trying to give students a toolbox of techniques they can use.
I'll ask them to interpret this data and come up with some theories of change.
Most of the labs we have, students explore hands-on analysis of, skulls and skeletal material.
One way that I try to make topics more approachable in my class and personalized to students is through the use of analogy. So you take something from your everyday life and apply it to a more complex topic.
I do this a lot with an online graphing application so that we can look at a graph of something in class and I can really quickly insert it into my notes.
There has to be a give and take back and forth between the student audience and the instructor.
But to put things in your own words takes quite a while, as we all know from writing being difficult. But they will also say, going through that process, they learn it so much better.
I think having things like these proverbs that you have to struggle with a little bit are useful in that they promote active engagement.
This is a tool to build excitement, right, over what is on offer here at USC.
These workshops have been noted by some of my students as sometimes the closest thing that they get to experiencing being back in the classroom.
So if I am always recreating it on the fly with them in the classroom, I'm just sort of communicating that you too can think through this process.
So rubrics are really helpful for identifying key concepts and enforcing learning outcomes, but it also provides equitability in grading and feedback across all of these different types of assignments.
These are the sorts of little things that I like to use to expose students to a concrete aspect of culture that may not have obvious immediate significance, but gets them thinking a little bit.
That means that I'm having them engage with culture at a personal level, teaching a partner, talking in a small group, working with the class in a large group, and then follow up where they post, see each other's work, and comment to each other.
This is also a social justice course. The top map is showing counties that voted Republican versus counties that voted Democrat, but then people vote, not land. And this represents people. And these are different ways of representing the same type of data.
For a lot of students, this might be their first time doing a lab. If they didn't have the chance to do it in high school, or this might be their first lab in college, we really do get to walk through the scientific method.
This is just an example of one of the labs that would have gone with this lesson that we did today.
Takeaway from all of this was that students, departments, and the university potentially may benefit from including these faculty interviews.
What you can see, with almost without exception, their scores are higher when they use Perusal.
While I anticipate having large classroom feedbacks and critiques when we're face-to-face again, I fully expect to bring and to use this way of giving interim peer feedback in my classroom for the foreseeable future.
Maybe a little bit that we can have more discussions in mathematics rather than just do theorem, definition, example, and go on.
How we can use data to try to generate some informed hypotheses about electricity system change.
What I'm hoping for as a happy consequence is that it increases the inclusivity and diversity of the conversations being had in the classrooms.
I just want to do more and more of all of this so that the students feel that they have a valid voice, but they can also leave the classroom being good communicators.